Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of I Talk to Notebooks. My name is Sarah, and today we are going to be starting a new journal with me style for the month of August, and it's going to be a check-in and an overview of my progress with clevercrafter's mixed media challenge for August. So there's 31 days in August. She has come up with 31 mixed media prompts, and I'm really excited. I've never done a challenge before, so this is my first time, and I can't wait. So I'll link her, I'm going to link her YouTube down below. I'm going to link the challenge instructions down below if you want to join in. But today is the first day of August, and so I'm going to get started with that today. And the first thing I want to do is I want to mark out in my current journal 31 pages that I'm going to use for the prompts. I'm just going to have one section of my journal where I do it. That just makes more sense to me. I know a lot of people like to go kind of chronologically, but I'm going to want to do my normal entries, you know, in a different section. I've just done a lot of sectioning on this journal and it's worked really well for me, so I'm going to keep going with that. I'm not going to do 31 spreads. I'm just going to do 31 single pages because I think filling up a whole spread is going to be a huge commitment for, it's just going to be a really, really big commitment for me to do every single day. And I really do want to try to do this every day and be creative. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my date stamp here, and I'm going to mark out the dates on each page. So we have August, nope, that's going the wrong way. August 1, 2021, that's going to be today. And I'm going to mark out the prompts. So guys, I wanted to show you, I went out and did a little bit of a shopping trip today because there were a few of these prompts that I actually don't have materials for yet. I don't do that much creative like mixed media stuff in my journals. Actually, it's almost all paper. So when it came to some of these prompts, I didn't have anything. So I ran out and tried to get the best stuff I could find for the least amount of money because I didn't want to spend a bunch on this. So I actually have a used bookstore near my house that has a whole section of just like art supplies, craft supplies, and vintage ephemera. And when I say vintage ephemera, I don't mean like Tim Holtz, like it's printed and sold. Like this is actual real vintage ephemera that's extremely affordable. So I got these vintage photographs. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who they are, but I got these photographs, and then I also got this book, this kid's book, and it's already got a page ripped out of it, so I figured might as well cut it up, and I think it's going to be a good one to use. So that's for today's. Now I didn't have any textiles. I have fabric, and technically I think fabric and textiles are the same thing, but I assumed it was like something a little more involved and fancy and like textured. So I went with these from Joann's. I know exactly what I'm going to do for this prompt already. And then I didn't have any doilies or lace, so I got these paper ones from Dollar Tree, and then I also found these were like on clearance at Joann's, so I got these. Not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I didn't have anything to do embroidery onto. I've actually never done embroidery before, so I'm going to just use this for the embroidery one. And then this is bubble wrap for the bubble wrap prompt because I didn't have any. I used to have some, and then I used it all up, which is actually great. I like having it all used up. And here is some for my craft. This is also from Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree is a great place to get stuff. Actually, technically, I could have gotten textiles from Dollar Tree too. They had like a scarf that I think was interesting enough and they had like scrunchies and stuff, so I kind of wish I'd done that, but I'd already been to Joann's at that point. And so this is going to be really cute. I'm inspired by it, so hopefully it's worth it. But yeah, if you have a used bookstore nearby, just check it out. Like, definitely explore your area where you live and go to new places every time you can if you have that kind of accessibility to transportation. I would definitely recommend checking out different places, because I didn't even know, I hadn't been to this bookstore in years, and I didn't know it had a section where it sold like literal vintage ephemera at like crazy low prices. I mean, it's like $3. This was buy two get one free, all of this stuff, and it was like $3 a piece. So I spent $6 to get these literal pieces of history that most people I think would kill to get their hands on. Like, this is genuine. So I'm really excited to use it. I hope that other people can find resources like that near them as well. Hey, this is like my 4th time trying to record this voiceover. I've got things to do. I really do, actually. So I'm just having a hard time with it because it's very chaotic, because I want to talk about the prompts, and I do 7 of them in this video, but I also had some other stuff I wanted to talk about too. So I'm actually going to try, we're just going to see how it goes. I'm going to do my best. I've gone on some really weird tangents in this, oh my gosh, in the past voiceovers, and I had to keep restarting or I would start coughing because I've been recording forever and my voice is going out. So let's just do this, you know, bear with me. Just try to be nice because I'm doing my best. So August 1st, oh my gosh, August 1st, 2021 is vintage, and I tore up that little book that I showed you guys earlier, and then I picked which sides I wanted, and I just papered the whole page over with those little cute illustrations. I think it looked great. And fun fact, I moved into a new journal since this video was filmed. Now I am using this picture journal for all the mixed media prompts, because I just wanted to keep it in one journal, and I like the size of these pages. But my new journal is for the actual, you know, journaling part, from like writing and just personal journaling, not stuff that you guys are going to see a whole lot of. So once those were papered on there, I put the pictures on that I showed you, and they didn't want to stick because nothing ever sticks in my life. Do you see a theme? Adhesives do not adhere when I'm around. It's maddening. So I want to show you guys something really cool that comes next before I go back to talking about my new journal, which I keep interrupting myself in this video. It's the nature of the beast, because I don't want to just narrate what I'm doing when it's repetitive, but I also want to talk about other stuff as well. But I want to, it's a lot. So this is a vintage stencil that I found at the same used bookstore a while ago and bought, and it's like a drafting stencil for bathrooms from probably the 70s, I would guess. I mean, it looks awesome, and it's toilets and urinals and sinks of every size. There's an itty bitty toilet that is so small, and they might as well have just put my name on this and reserved it for me, because they could have charged me way more than $3 and I would have still bought it, because I can't say no to a vintage bathroom drafting stencil. Look at the toilets. Oh my gosh, it's so little. That is the cutest thing in the world. So I went to town with those for sure. It was a perfect time to use them. And to color in with a mild liner to add a little bit more visual interest, and I picked an orange one. So anyways, in my new journal, I've been kind of a lot more relaxed with it, because I didn't realize this, and I don't think it's like a huge problem, but when I'm filming those weekly kind of decorate with me videos, I kind of feel like there's a certain amount of decorating I gotta do to make the video long enough to make it interesting, so I can actually, you know, yap away about whatever I'm thinking that week. But now that I'm not filming that, it's just like I did kind of the least this time and left a lot of room to write, because I haven't actually been doing that much writing, and I feel like I need to write more, because you know, when I don't write, sometimes I get like all up in my head, and then like I don't process thoughts, and things come out around other people or in unexpected situations where I don't want them to come out. And that's something I learned in therapy. Like, you need to get out ahead of your thoughts, or else they might just kind of come out willy-nilly, and you know, you need to be mindful about what you say instead of just blabbing everything to people in your life, and you need to have your own thoughts managed. And I do that with journaling. That's really helpful for me, and you guys all know. Okay, interrupting myself again. August 2nd, 2021 is woven, and I had all these ideas. I was so inspired. I was going to do all these different things for this prompt. And then the day came, and I felt so sick that I almost didn't even do the prompt at all, because I didn't think it's not a strenuous task what I'm doing, but I just was not feeling well. My stomach was not in a good place, and the only reason I even made it through just weaving the paper together, which is super bland and boring, the only reason I even got through that was because I didn't know what I would do if I stopped. Like, I felt too bad to even lay down. So anyways, that was a result of some poor life choices that I made regarding what I ate that day and that week. And so I got a little bit of medicine and was feeling a lot better the next day. And will try to be more respectful of my body in the future. But anyways, you can watch me struggle through this paper weaving. But I wanted to, I was talking about how journaling more regularly is nice. And, I know it's a touchy subject that you don't want to tell anybody that they have to journal a certain amount. And I'm not saying that. For me personally, I do want to be journaling every day for a while because I miss the benefits of it. And I have really been having a lot of success with trying to end my journaling entries on a more positive note. So yeah, I can go and share my true feelings and be very honest and sometimes negative about situations. But if I end the journal entry with something a little bit more positive, like maybe a possible positive outcome or an action item I can take, something that is in my control that I can do to make it better, or to at least make myself feel better, then I walk away from the entry feeling a lot better. And if you guys saw my flip through video from Saturday, I did that in that journal actually, which was an old journal, but I had an entry where I said I felt negative, and so I wanted to write about something positive instead. And I don't do that. I want to get all my feelings out, even the negative ones, but ending on a positive note really can change my mood for the better. I don't know if that works for everybody, but it definitely does work for me. And I've been finding my mood has been greatly improved. Over the past few weeks, there's been some stuff that has happened that has been really, really discouraging. I don't know. It was just stuff that could have really gotten me down and probably would have under other circumstances. But, I sat down with my journal and I looked over the situation and I said, this is how I feel. This is valid. It's a good time to be discouraged. There's no way that I should be expected to feel good about this. But here's what I can do. Or here's one good thing that could come out of it. Or I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm just going to take this other path instead. And doing that is really helpful, and obviously there are some situations that are just so bad and it's totally out of your control, that there's nothing, you can't really have that attitude and it won't really work out too well. But, for me, with things that have happened lately, I have been able to make use of that technique, and I feel like if I were journaling more frequently, I would be able to practice it more and feel like be a more positive person in general, because that's something I really kind of want to work on. It's hard to say because people tend to jump on that and be like, yes, you have to be positive, you have to smile all the time, that's your job, you owe that to the world. Like, well, let's slow down here. Like, no, I don't. And there's different personality types. It doesn't make me a bad person if I'm a little more pessimistic, but just even cynically speaking, people aren't gonna like you if you're too negative. So you have to sit down and look at yourself. Well, I have to sit down and look at myself and say, like, do I want to be somebody who lifts the mood in the room or brings it down? And it's like, I'd like to lift the mood, I guess. That seems better. And it's still okay to be open with people and to be honest about your feelings. And sometimes that can even be positive if you have like a funny way to state how you feel. I've gotten quite a few laughs out of people with my very sardonic remarks about situations I don't like. Now, again, it's a fine line to walk because excessive sarcasm is really obnoxious. But sometimes you can just look at the absurdity of a bad situation and just exaggerate it, and people will laugh, and that makes it less upsetting. So, even if you're a negative person, you have positive ways you can cope with things. Like, every successful stand-up comedian is, like, horribly depressed, and, like, I wouldn't want to hang out with them, but they're funny, right? So, you can make the best of any kind of personality, but I just wanted to have a little bit more positivity in my life. I didn't want to be always the doom and gloom girl. Not to say that I am. I don't think that I am, but I just felt like I could be more positive. I don't know. I hate everything that I'm saying, to be quite honest with you. Like, oh, be positive. Nah, stop feeding into that narrative. Because toxic positivity is so real, and I don't want to feed into it. I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm talking about genuinely trying to give myself hope or point myself in a productive direction instead of having undirected negative feelings and just venting and not leaving with anything to gain from that, Because I can just, think those thoughts in my head. I want to get something out of it, when I'm journaling something. So that's why I want to journal more frequently. That plus there were situations coming up where I would have feelings and I didn't know why, and that is not where I like to be. Usually if I have a feeling, I can immediately identify what it is, where it's coming from, why it's there, and what to do about it if I don't like it. Or if I feel like, because feelings they're like alarms, they can tell you if a situation is good or bad and if something's wrong or right. So, I'm not saying get rid of bad feelings, but if there's a feeling saying that I need to do something, I can take that action instead of wasting time just feeling it, But recently I was having feelings that I didn't know where they were coming from or what to do about them. It looks like we're going to move on to the next prompt, which is Monoprint. I didn't know what that was. I looked it up and it looked like kind of a catch-all term for images that cannot be reproduced more than once, but not a drawing or a watercolor. It has to be like kind of a generated picture or image. So like a rubber stamp by itself is not a monoprint because that rubber stamp still exists and you can immediately stamp it down and create an identical image again. But a collage of rubber stamps is unique, so you can not reproduce that instantly. You have to reposition all the stamps again. So that was the best I could come up with. It seemed like most people were doing this thing with like a jelly roller or something. I don't know what it was. It looked beautiful, but I don't have that equipment and I just didn't feel like getting into it. It wasn't something that was appealing to me a whole lot. So I just did this rubber stamp collage and it didn't look great. It was space themed at first, but you'll see later. I added some florals. You'll see. Yeah, but anyways. Yeah, I was having feelings that I didn't know where they were coming from or what they were about or what to do about them. And kind of getting to the point where it was going to start, I don't know, it was leaking into the rest of my life and creating problems for me. And, I don't like that. I don't like feeling out of control. So, I sat down. I was up till, if I'm yawning, it's because I was up till literally like 3 a.m. yesterday journaling because I just got started and did not want to stop writing. I just wanted to get it all out. And then I journaled for like 2 more hours again today. Just writing out everything. Because there was a lot of good and a lot of bad. And I realized kind of where some of those feelings had come from. I enumerated them, which sometimes helps, like enumerating reasons. I was just really honest, and it made me feel better. It made me feel like I knew what was going on instead of being in the dark. And it allowed me to decide what to do next. And I actually was able to end. It's becoming almost a habit now, a little bit. And again, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to be that person that's like, I started a new thing yesterday, and now it's who I am as a person. But I have been writing, just not as much as I want to, and I have been implementing this technique, and I have been, a little successful at it seems like it's coming more naturally to me. Oh my gosh, look at this stamp. I could not get this building to transfer. I tried different marker colors, and you're going to see I'm going to try a black stamping pad, and only the outline is going to transfer, not the building itself. Maddening. And it looks so bad. It looks terrible. Just look. I'll get back to the thing about the habit in a second, but you just have to watch this masterpiece of disaster. What is that? It looks like a bird pooped. You know when birds like have those purple poops from eating berries? That's what that looks like. I don't make and there's just the black outline. It's taunting me. That is a taunt. That's a direct insult. So I couldn't use that stamp. That thing's toast. So I actually did those big floral stamps because if you look at this now, it's like a nauseating pattern that like gives you a headache instantly upon looking at it. I wanted there to be like a focal point for people's eyes to go to. So I put these large floral stamps on to kind of create composition of some sort. It's not great. Do I like this? No, but this challenge forces you to be creative and go out of your comfort zone every single day, and I am liking that. I'm really excited to see the combination of this challenge plus, not filming my personal journal decorations. I think maybe I'm going to come up with some new ways of decorating in my day-to-day that could be inspired and kicked off by this challenge. Just had to get some water because my vocal cords are about to snap like guitar strings from all this recording and re-recording. So this next prompt for the 4th was rubbings. And I did coins, which I thought everybody was going to do. I actually didn't see anybody else do coins, which I was surprised by. Somebody from Instagram told me, and I don't use names because I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but she watched my video so she can say if she's okay with it. But someone from Instagram said she uses limited edition Oreos to do her rubbings. And that's such a good idea. What a good idea. I wish I would have thought of that. But I just did coins. And then as I was doing the coins, it occurred to me in the back of my mind, not in the front, in the back, that, oh my gosh, it would have been really cool to go to a graveyard and rub the tombstones because they're engraved, you know? And people do that sometimes. That'd be really awesome. That would be super cool, really on brand, like blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, oh, well, that's too bad. I don't really have time to do that today because I've got other stuff going on. And then that thought moved to the front of my mind and I realized how rude it would be to go to the graveyard with my journal and, you know, or somebody's relative and just rub the... last time I recorded this, I could not phrase it properly either. Basically, just do a rubbing of the gravestone in public with someone else's relative, because I don't have any relatives buried near here. It might be cool if it was somebody... I mean, cool isn't the right word, but it might be meaningful if it was somebody that I was related to or that I was close with. But so far, I don't have anybody that I was close with who has passed even yet. All my family members are buried elsewhere. But, you know, nobody I'm close with yet has died, although at my age, it's getting close, which is really depressing. But anyway, not today, Satan. Today, we are doing coins. And I use the Colors of the World colored pencils from Crayola. And again, I don't draw people too much because I'm not that good at it. But I'd be interested to see what somebody who's actually good at art could do with these pencils and using them as skin tones. Because that'd be pretty neat. But colored pencils are great for doing these rubbings. And I think this one came out okay. I mean, is it great? No, it's not great. But it's fine. Oh, and then this next one was Assemblage. Take a drink of water real quick. Man, my voice is all up in my nose, guys. Gonna get through this. Okay, Assemblage. I didn't know what the difference between this and the next day, which was found objects, was. So I decided that I was gonna just make my own interpretation, which is that assemblage can be anything, but found objects have to be found that day. So I had this pile of memorabilia on my desk that I had been wanting to incorporate into my journals for memory keeping purposes, but I had not yet incorporated and I didn't know how to incorporate them. And namely, I had a lot of these old book jackets because my boyfriend and I go to the used bookstore together and he likes to get hardcover books, but he hates the jackets, so he gave me all the jackets. And you might notice that he is a fan of Ernest Hemingway. And I wish someone would tell him that Ernest Hemingway loved cats because Ernest Hemingway did love cats. And I've pointed this out and it doesn't seem to be making my boyfriend love cats any more than he already does. But you know, these things can take years. Point being, these jackets actually were perfect for creating foldouts for all this other memorabilia, including greeting cards and just other cool stuff from day-to-day life that I had gathered and not put into my journals yet. So this is like a nice reset, and I can now actually start incorporating stuff, or at least sticking it in the back if I don't know where to put it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want any more piles of memorabilia to gather. And when I started this one, I thought it was going to be one of the worst ones. I didn't think it was going to come out great. I wasn't too excited about it. But this one came out really, really, really well. And I never would have done it if it weren't for this prompt. This is one of my favorite ones so far. I bet it'll be one of my favorite ones for the whole month, actually. And it's all thanks to Angie. So, yeah. And I was talking about something, and now I lost my train of thought. It was something about positivity, feelings, identifying feelings. I think I did all that. Yeah. But anyway, I feel better now that I journaled. And I want to have more moderation in the future. Like, do less of it more frequently instead of lots of it less frequently, because it's not good to bottle stuff up. And, you know, I want to have those benefits on a day-to-day basis. Plus, morning pages are really good for creativity and remembering dreams and stuff. They're just good to do. So I'd like to get back into it. Okay, well, here's the last day, August 7th, to close out the week. And I went to a pen boutique that day. And it's far from my house, but it was worth it because I really like this store. It's really awesome. And I got a lot of stuff that day. I've been planning to buy it for a while. I got 2 Lamy Safari pens, and I got 5 bottles of fountain pen ink. Lamy Safari fountain pens. And that was my first ever bottle of diamine ink, actually. And I really liked the way the bottle looked. So I cut it up and used it as decoration. And you'll see that I also, the Lamy Safari pen boxes have really cool windows in them. And then I also used the cards that come with Monteverde inks, because they have little cards with the name of the ink and the color on it. So I try to save those and paste them into my journals. So I thought I could put them here. And it would be, this is all stuff that I got when I went shopping that day. But then I cheated on my rule a little bit, because there was some journals that I had bought the day before. Peter Popper Press, for those of you who are interested. And those have like little cute stickers on the back with a quote and the name of the journal cover design. And I did want to put those in as well, since it was a stationery themed page. But anyway, those are recent objects still compared to what I used for the Assemblage page, so I think I stuck to it well enough. And of course the rubber cement wasn't sticking, because adhesives do not adhere in my presence. So I used foam dots, which weren't great, but eventually it all set once I closed the journal, and it's fine now. It actually looks really cool. So anyway, I have a question for you guys, anybody who's still watching. Do you guys think that the Peter Popper Press journals are a good deal? Or just about priced right, or a little too expensive? Because I was thinking, I got 2 of the small ones, and I was thinking for $9 a pop, it's a pretty good deal, because they do have like a very nice cover. I really like the pages and the paper quality, and they have the pocket in the bag, the closure, the ribbon, and everything. And even like the big ones, I almost got one of the big ones. I'm probably going to next time I go to that place where I got these from. But it seemed like they were pretty well priced to me for everything that it includes. Plus it has a nice quote and everything in it. But I don't know. Maybe they're too expensive, because you can get some pretty good journals for $2 or $3 if you're in the right place at the right time. So you guys let me know what you think about Peter Popper Press, if it's worth it or if it's overpriced. I mean, on a scale of 1 to Moleskine, what's the price for what you get? And there's the stickers there. I really love these florals. They're so pretty. No regrets. That's it.